When New Yorkers and especially Bronxites think of Arthur Avenue, they think of Italian culture, including music, family history, and of course, amazing Italian cuisine. Ann and Tony's restaurant is no exception. Having been a staple on Arthur Avenue since 1927, Ann and Tony's is known for both its classic and new dishes. Our first guest this morning is the current owner, and his goal is to introduce the food his grandmother cooked, and now we can have these foods in a healthier lifestyle. Welcome to the set, Ralph Napolitano.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Can you tell me about the history of Ann and Tony's on Arthur Avenue?
Oh, most definitely. Started in 1927 by our great-grandfather Eugenio, who came over from Italy, southern Italy, and he had a dream to come to America, open his restaurant, cook his great food for the community that he was living in around Arthur Avenue. And he did it, and it's almost 85 years later, and we're still there. Worked there as a kid, been there my whole life with my brother, my parents, my grandmother Ann, who was the main chef for a very long time. And it's really, it amazes me that we've been there for so long. I still step back and go, wow, we've been here for 85 years, and it's really a nice thing, and of course it's all about the food. So
I was going to say, your grandfather came over from
great-grandfather yeah.
Came over from Italy. Can you tell me where, what kind of cuisine does Ann and Tony's?
Well, you know, it's kind of dual. It's some traditional Southern Italian cooking, and it's also Italian American cooking as well. A lot of traditional dishes of Italian American cuisine as well. So it's a combination of that.
So it's not more northern, southern?
No, it's more southern, but
okay.
It's also a combination of the southern Italian cuisine and Italian American cuisine, meaning stuff like the big pasta dishes with the cheeses and the fried chicken cutlets and things like that. So that's more of an Italian American tradition. So we combine both. So because we've been here for so long and we've used those dishes of classic Italian American to also on the menu to.
So as a restaurant owner, you're also, not only are you a restaurant owner, you're also a nutritionist.
Right. Well, I'm a chiropractor and a certified clinical nutritionist, a holistic health counselor. And I've been in practice for over 10 years. But I've been studying nutrition for probably 20. You know, I've always had an interest in what makes people healthy, what drives your health and what is right. Because even when I was a kid, before I discovered chiropractic, medicine to just be healthy didn't seem right. There's a place for the medicine when you're very sick and you have disease, but to be healthy, it just didn't fit. So I started studying nutrition, and I kind of found the road to chiropractic. And people know me as in two different lives. It's funny, I live these separate lives where people know me as the doctor, and then they know me as the guy, the owner, or the waiter, or the maitre d' at the restaurant. So it's kind of funny how those two lives combine.
But it's interesting that you're not only a restaurant owner, but you're a nutritionist.
Right.
So how does that incorporate itself into the dishes that you serve at the restaurant?
Well, to be honest, you know, it doesn't really translate into the restaurant. We don't really have a healthy food menu, like you said, diet menu that you go into restaurants and you see. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the dishes are very healthful because it's based, the Mediterranean diet, okay, which got prominence in the early 90s here in the States, and most of the dishes that are on the menu already fit inside that category. It's funny because some people come into the restaurant and they start looking at different items on the menu, and then I hear them as I don't know how many points that is, they're on Weight Watchers or something, and I'm like, points? I'm like, oh, come on. And what I start doing is I go, well, then maybe you should try this, and this, have that. Because they wind up wanting to have like broiled chicken and broiled vegetables with nothing on it, and I'm like, oh, that's why you're gonna fail. You're not eating good food. It's bland. It tastes like cardboard. It's just not gonna work. It's not a good thing.
Can you tell me what exactly is a Mediterranean diet? Because I know the Mediterranean encompasses a few different countries, but there's staples that, you know, translate to each country.
Well, it's based on some scientific work by Dr. Ansel Keys, where he did a 7-country study. This was, I think it was back in the 40s and 50s, and he studied the people who live in that Mediterranean region. But the diet kind of based itself really on Greece and southern Italy, where he found the healthiest people in that area had that food of their region, and they had lower rates of heart disease, cancer, I mean, just across the board. So there's a lot of scientific research behind the Mediterranean diet and lifestyle that proves to be good for people to reduce diabetes, cancer, heart disease, obesity. So it's really a great diet to follow.
A lot of times when people go into Italian restaurants, they get I know when I go in, I get overwhelmed by the menu, because I'm like, I kind of like that, I want a little bit of that, you know, like it's like it's so tasty. But can you let me know, what as a nutritionist would you recommend if you walked into a restaurant, and I know you mentioned people being on the point system, I'm on a diet, I want a broiled piece of chicken and plain pasta. What can I eat if I went to a restaurant that is a balanced meal? I'm not packing on the calories and I'm not packing on the carbs. What can I eat when I just go out to an Italian restaurant?
Carbs, you know, right there, what you mentioned. You know, there's this myth and this mystery and there's this thing about carbohydrates that they're not good for us, that we're not supposed to eat them. That's impossible. Carbohydrates are the energy of the food, and it's going to energize your body, so you need carbohydrates. But it also breaks down to the quality and the quantity of the carbohydrate that you eat, you know. So if you look at pasta, right, traditionally we look at pasta, oh, I'm not going to eat pasta because it's very high in carbohydrates. It's also the quality of it. You know, the white pasta that you get every day in the traditional Italian restaurant, or which you might cook at home, is probably not the best choice. Better choice would be a whole grain, better choice would be a whole wheat pasta. The best choice would be a whole grain pasta.
Okay.
And you could walk into a lot of the stores today and they have whole grain pastas, which are very high in fiber, high in protein, and just overall have a better quality of nutrients inside of it, so it's good for you to eat, but you got to watch your portion control. That's the whole point. You know, usually you're going to have a nice little small portion of pasta, when traditionally, in America anyway, used to be this big giant
I was going to say family style, and you go into these restaurants, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a plate of pasta.
But that's not how it is in Southern Italy. It's usually, you know, a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And the portion is a little smaller, and it's cooked very fresh. Everything it's about fresh ingredients, you know. But if you go into the restaurant, any restaurant, you should right away, don't look at get away from the fried foods if you can. Get away from anything heavy.
No fried calamari.
I just put a dent in there. But the fried calamari, look, again, everything is about portion control and moderation. So if you want to have some, you have a little bit of the fried calamari. Better choice would be to have calamari that's sautéed in a nice tomato sauce. Very simple. Instead of going after the you know, the big heavy pasta with the Alfredo sauce, the heavy cream sauce, choose a pasta with a lot of mixed vegetables on it, because that's one of the staples of a Mediterranean diet. Mixed vegetables, grains, whole grains, fruits, smaller portions of meat, bigger portions of fish, and low-fat fish and things of that nature. So it's just a matter of the choices, you know, that you're making. Don't forget the red wine. The red wine is very good. A lot of health benefits in red wine, but again, in moderation. Again, in moderation. You could actually get the same health benefits in a glass of grape juice as you can in a glass of red wine, but to me, I think a red wine is a lot more fun.
So if we went into Ann and Tony's, it'd probably be best to take like a fish course.
Oh, most definitely.
Fish course with a light pasta with some fresh tossed vegetables.
Salad, vegetables, without a doubt. You know, look for especially the green leafy vegetables, a lot better. Broccoli is good. Kale is also a very good vegetable. There's so many different things you could eat with a Mediterranean diet. You know, and that's what I've done. I've actually put together a small little book that you could get for free online to just give you a primer about the Mediterranean diet, what it's about, and how you can, you know, start incorporating it into your lifestyle. Because it's not a diet; it's really a lifestyle. That's why I don't think it's not as sensational as most of the other fad diets. You lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, and everybody gets excited, and then they get depressed because it doesn't work.
So where can they find this manual?
Well, I put a little website together, drralphnapolitano.com, drralphnapolitano, I know it's long, .com. And you could go there, you can put your name and email address in. I got a little video too. And they could just download the book for free and just start incorporating it into your lifestyle. Again, Mediterranean diet is a lifestyle. It's not really a diet. It's about eating good quality food. It's about just, you got to cook a little bit more at home. You know, I'm not the best cook in the world either, but you just got to cook good food, because that's where your health is going to start. It's not going to be found at the bottom of a vitamin bottle or a prescription bottle. It's got to start with the food that's on your plate, without a doubt. So just get the book, start incorporating into your lifestyle, and go for it.
Thank you,
Don't be
Ralph.
afraid. Don't be afraid.
See, there you have it. Don't be afraid.
Right.